Hello and a warm welcome to the show. I'm Salia Strzemska and today we're going to talk about one of the most iconic Polish directors of all time. Wojciech Jerzy Has stands among the most visionary directors in Polish cinema. The Center for Science and Technology in Łódź has prepared an exhibition devoted to his legacy, inviting us on a multimedia journey that reveals the full scope of his creative path. Take a look.
Wojciech Jerzy Has, the uncompromising auteur of Polish cinema, has been celebrated at the National Center for Film Culture in Łódź in a manner befitting one of the most enigmatic, dreamlike voices of European art house film.
This year is the 100th anniversary of Has's birthday, and we're celebrating at the National Center for Film Culture in Łódź. We are celebrating his vision and his artistry.
For Has, the journey was never simply about distance. His films charted both physical voyages and metaphysical odysseys, exploring the elusive nature of memory and revealing the past hidden in our dreams. Shaped by three Polish cities, Kraków, Wrocław and Łódź, Has wove together a body of work at once resistant to easy interpretation. This exhibition guided audiences through Has's surreal imaginarium, a cinema of illusion, rupture, and wandering souls. A favorite of true cinephiles, Has was admired by international masters.
His imagination and his style was something that was very interesting for directors like Louis Buñuel or Martin Scorsese.
On display, original costumes from the Saragossa Manuscript, alongside props, set designs, and film awards. And, as a rare highlight, artifacts created by Has himself, revealing the restless artist at work.
Has was famous for telling stories from different cultures, and his ideas traveled through time and through languages as well. He adapted films from French books, from English books, and he also faked Spain in Poland to make the Saragossa Manuscript.
As the exhibition closes its doors, Has's cinema remains, preserved on the silver screen, difficult and uncompromising. A true testament to the best of the Polish art house vision.
Known for his striking visual imagination, Has's films are surreal and unforgettable cinematic experiences. But who was Wojciech Jerzy Has? Take a look at the life story of this unforgettable man.
You may have never heard of him, but all the great film directors certainly have.
Wojciech Has is one of the few names in Polish filmmaking history that you can call a visionary. He would craft his cinematic universes, and they would make their way deep into our eyeballs and stay there.
He was born exactly 100 years ago in 1925. A member of a generation forced to grow up during World War II, he would later weave his occupation experiences into his movies. Like How to Be Loved, an intimate drama set in 1940s Kraków.
Chciałaś powiedzieć, laleczko, że męża nie ma w domu. Puszczajcie!
Tak.
In the communist era, Has often struggled with state censorship. Legend has it that he was banned from directing for a few years after releasing the Hourglass Sanatorium.
Czy zauważyliście kiedy, że między wierszami pewnych książek przelatują tu mnie jaskółki? Całe wersety jaskółek należy czytać z lotu tych ptaków.
Based on a novel by Jewish writer Bruno Schulz, the film was made in celebration of Jewish culture in response to the communist authorities launching the anti-Semitic campaign of 1968. The government push prompted most of Poland's remaining Jews leaving their homeland. Allegedly, Has was told by censors not to screen the film at Cannes.
Andrzej Wajda told Has, like, don't care about it. Like, take it in your luggage, bring it to them, show it to them. And what happened? He won. He won a silver palm.
Despite winning the acclaim of the Cannes Festival jury, Has found it difficult to work in Poland in the following years.
Za to, że Has wysłał ten film do Cannes.
For sending his film to Cannes, a film that state censors believe alluded to pogroms of Jews, he found himself punished by the communist authorities. He couldn't make movies for decades after.
But the films were well received abroad. In 1981, Has was about to direct a movie in France.
The plan for the film was very ambitious. The actors to be starring in were chosen Catherine Deneuve and Orson Welles.
Has and his crew were packed and ready.
But their plane was set on 13th of December 1981, so it was cancelled due to the martial law in Poland.
While away from the director's chair, Wojciech Jerzy Has taught at the Łódź Film School, one of the world's most prestigious institutions of its kind.
He was one of the greatest teachers for younger generations, telling them that you don't have to listen to those old movie directors. The movies that you're supposed to do are inside of you.
Where to begin? We recommend the Saragossa Manuscript, a psychedelic adventure based on an 18th century fantasy novel with secret societies and very seductive demons. Whether you enjoy a cinematographic feast, deep psychological drama, or just slightly absurdist gags, you will find yourself impressed and inspired by the masterpieces of Poland's biggest visionary director, Wojciech Jerzy Has.
But how do you capture the magic of Has's cinema in a single image? Poster legend Andrzej Pągowski took on the challenge, creating 25 works that reimagine Has's films. The exhibition, Has a New, which opened this month, invites us to explore his symbolic world in a whole new way.
Andrzej Pągowski, an artist shaped in the golden age of Polish poster making, has just revisited the classic films of Wojciech Jerzy Has to interpret them for the 21st century. His new posters are now on display at Warsaw's beautiful Łazienki Park.
First of all, I'm really thankful I can be here on the streets of Warsaw with completely new posters for films by Has.
The iconic Polish filmmaker was known for his surrealist sensibility and keen insight into the souls of his characters. Pągowski has met the director personally in the 1980s while designing a poster for his film Right and Fight.
Has nie był tak miły, jak byli Kieślowski, Wajda czy...
Has wasn't as nice as Wajda, Kieślowski, or Agnieszka Holland. He was quite aloof, but in my case, he treated me quite well. After I watched Right and Fight, I remember I met him at Polfilm. I wanted to say something. He said, "Andrzej, I know your work. You'll do a good job," and left. There was trust there.
Wanda, the widow of the deceased filmmaker, attended the exhibition opening and approved of the artist's new vision. Pągowski believes that age gave him the opportunity to understand the films of Wojciech Jerzy Has on a much deeper level.
His life wasn't easy. Today I've been talking about it, how in the 80s I wasn't mature enough to understand Has. So I'm very happy that after I've grown up and now have my own baggage of experiences and memories, I could be a part of this project and design new posters. These designs emerged from my world at the time, but viewed through a new lens.
The exhibition is a true feast, both for cinema buffs and art lovers alike. If you're in Warsaw, the posters will be on display until the end of August.
We're kicking off Culture Beats with a visit to the brand new Museum of the Battle of Warsaw 1920. In Ossów, you'll find a modern exhibition packed with multimedia, rare artifacts, weapons, uniforms and documents, all tied to the heroes of one of Poland's greatest victories. Our reporter Zuzanna Jurek gives us a first look.
Hundreds have gathered for the inauguration of the 1920 Battle of Warsaw Museum. The museum itself sits at a historical site where majority of the battles of the 1920 Polish Bolsheviks war were fought, hoping to withstand and defend the capital city of Warsaw. The victory in Ossów, specifically where this museum is situated, is considered one of the turning points of the war fought between 1919 and 1921, preventing the westward expansion of communism into Europe.
The Battle of Warsaw was the culminating moment of the Polish Bolshevik War, which lasted from 1919, actually from the very beginning of that year, until 1920-1921, when peace was signed. The main command was, of course, exercised by Marshal Józef Piłsudski.
And in terms of what can be found in the museum, it ranges from the relics of the leadership of both the Polish as well as Bolshevik forces, as well as armaments and equipments used in the 1920s battle.
There are a number of truly spectacular items, ranging from heavy artillery such as the Armata de Bank to the armored Ford T, Renault FT-17 installation. And there are also unusual mementos of Józef Piłsudski, such as his coat, and relics of Father Ignacy Skorupka, a table sprinkled with his blood. He was a chaplain who accompanied young Polish soldiers here in Ossów as they went into battle, accompanying them in their counterattack against the enemy.
As you can see behind me, the crowds who have gathered are huge, and the interest in visiting the museum is massive. But in terms of the actual experiences of the museum goers, well, the attendees spoke of primarily patriotism as well as national pride, which this object evokes.
First of all, the memorabilia that are on display here. Young people obviously don't know about this, so we came here, the whole family, to instill a little Polish history in them.
Fantastic building, beautiful and amazing both inside and out. Simply brilliant. The exhibition is really worth visiting. There are wide passageways and a lift, so it is also quite important to us that this is a place adapted for everyone.
The number of visitors here and the line to the museum certainly testify to how necessary it was.
The opening itself was attended by both Polish officials as well as heads of states. This included the Polish Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, who, during his speech at the opening ceremony, has said, and I quote, "The greatness of the 1920 victory should and will be the very center of the Polish politics of remembrance." For TVP World, Zuzanna Jurek.
You can explore Poland through its cuisine, monuments or architecture, but today we suggest something different, a summer journey along the trail of film festivals. Start in the Roztocze region, where the Summer Film Academy takes place every August. Next on the map is the Insko Film Summer, set against the backdrop of beautiful natural surroundings. And to crown the season, the jewel of them all, the Polish Film Festival in Gdynia, held since 1974, celebrating Polish cinema on a grand scale. Do we show too few women in history? Here's another one, brilliant, versatile and important, though of course not widely remembered, Karolina Lanckorońska. An art historian, patriot and witness to history, writer Marcin Wilk brings her story back to life in his new book, The Only One. If you don't yet know Lanckorońska's remarkable life, this is the perfect summer read. And that's a wrap for this episode of Pulse of Culture. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.